Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 24 of the 2018 Beer Cartel Beer Advent Calendar. I'm Jeff Hewins from Beer Cartel, and today we are revealing Angry Reg from Blackman's, the double IPA. Today I've got Ren Blackman from Blackman's Brewery. How are you, Ren?
Good. How are you going?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks for joining me today on the video cast and broadcasting you into people's homes. I thought what we would do before we get stuck into the beer is just get you to introduce yourself and introduce Blackman's Brewery and tell us what you guys are all about.
My name's Ren. We're from Blackman's down in Torquay. So we're a small sort of family brewery started by myself and my wife 5 years ago almost, or 4.5 years ago. Our big focus is just making really well-balanced, easy drinking beers that we really like to drink. So that sort of was our ethos from the start. You can come to the brewery and have beers and food and stuff, which is great. So you can have that whole drinking experience at the brewery, which is a really big part for us too. We added cans to our sort of lineup and packaged beer probably 2 years in. So the first couple of years we're very focused on brewing beer in-house and just keeping it fresh and all that stuff. And then we've slowly grown over time to distributing sort of nationally, mostly in Victoria. It's all going well, which is good.
And tell us about what you were doing. So 4 years ago, you started the brewery, but what were you doing prior? What inspired you to get into investing in a brewery?
Yeah, so probably 10 years ago, I finished business at uni and still had no idea what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
My mum actually said, have you heard about brewing courses? And I looked into that. It just sounded interesting. I didn't know a huge amount about beer. I liked drinking, I love Little Creatures Pale Ale and Cooper's Pale Ale and those sort of beers, but I didn't have any brewing experience to that point. Enrolled in a brewing course in Perth. There was the course in Ballarat too, which is only an hour up the road from here, but I kind of thought Perth sounded like a fun place to go. So Jess, my wife, and myself, we moved over there. She studied marketing while we were over there.
Oh, yeah.
I studied brewing and then got a job at the Monk Brewery in Fremantle about sort of 3 or 4 months into study. Started there part-time and ended up being there full-time for almost 3 years, which was great, living in Freo. And the beer scene over there was amazing, such good beers in Perth, which was, a really good way to start it all. And that whole kind of brew pub beer scene that's in Fremantle, where you go to Little Creatures or the Monk or the Sail and Anchor, they're just amazing spots to sit for a beer. And that's sort of where our huge kind of love of, we wanted to start something like what they had over there.
Yeah.
Back where we're from in Torquay. After that, we moved over to the UK for a couple of years. So I worked at Camden Town Brewery for about 2.5 years. I started there in about 2010 when they were sort of just starting. So there's about 6 of us there at the start, including everyone. I think there was 2 or 3 brewers. By the time I left, there was 30 people employed, and it had grown dramatically. I think they've got over 100 now. But it's that place boomed and grew so quick.
Yeah.
Making really good quality kind of German lager. And some nice pale ales and wit beers and stuff like that. But it was just really cool to see that sort of on a production side too, from a small brew pub, a really rapidly growing brand, and seeing what you could do with beer, which was pretty exciting. And that kind of...
Sorry, go ahead.
That? Oh, yeah, that really inspired sort of a love of lager for us too. We just seeing how a good lager can taste. I'd never really had anything but, say, your Carlton Draughts and things like that. And then getting over to Germany and things like that and trying those beers and drinking the Camden beer and things like that, that really, inspired that as well. So we make quite a few lagers at the brewery in Torquay down too. So.
Yeah, and I think the talking about the kind of brew pub model, it's something that we have a chat kind of internally at Beer Cartel and also with kind of our industry peers. It really is the way forward, in our opinion, for the actual brewery to continue to grow, because there's only so much space on shelf or so many taps available that they're, for a beer or a beer brand to have an actual home in a brew pub where you can kind of tell your story and have people, come and stay and have some $10 pizzas or a burger from the burger truck that kind of rolls in, is definitely the model that needs to continue to grow in Australia, because I think that just a beer brand and trying to spruik that in the industry will be more and more challenging. It was definitely a way to market in terms of contract brewing in the past, but I think that those days are kind of very numbered and very, very difficult way to do it. So yeah, hats off.
Yeah, well, there's so many brands now, and we've really found it good. Just that whole control of customer experience. So they come in, and we have them from the day, like as soon as they come in to when they leave. So you control their whole beer drinking time, which is great. Yeah. So you give them a happy, fun time, and the beer tastes good.
Yeah, and you guys are in a perfect spot, right? You're in the kind of a surfing town near Bells Beach, just outside Geelong. So if people wanted to do, Melbourne and then hop down to Geelong and then down to see you guys, it's not a rural type of location. It's still
and it's only an hour and 10 from this Melbourne city, which is quite good, or a half hour from Geelong. So it's a good spot right near the beach, near the caravan park. If you want to roll across the road after you're done.
Fantastic. So today, like I mentioned at the start of the video, we are revealing the Angry Reg double IPA. I will preface this, as I mentioned to Ren at the start of the call. This is my favourite Australian-made double IPA. So it's part of the reason why we included it in the pack. And yeah, it's very, very easy drinking for 8.8%. And Ren, tell us a little bit about this while we crack it open and sample.
So Angry Reg, I've actually got a bigger can than you, which is lucky. But we've got an IPA at the brewery called Reginald. All our beers are named after family members. So Reginald was my grandfather. He was quite a grumpy sort of old bloke. So that was where the idea for Angry Reg came from, just because his personality was quite angry. So we thought, let's make a big double IPA of our normal IPA and called Angry Reg. So it's basically just a bigger version of our normal IPA. Way more malt, way more hops. We use some cryo hops as well, which is cool, and some hop oil as well, which kind of increases that drinkability and just gives a really nice clean hop bitterness and flavour. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, like we really wanted it to be like a smooth double IPA, because there is like a lot of double IPAs we drank were very rugged and weren't overly encouraging to have. I know you probably shouldn't have 2 pints of it, but you probably could, which is the good thing about it. But yeah, if you had 2 pints, you'll know about it. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think so for me, the reason that it's a standout double IPA, obviously there are others like your Pirate Life double IPA that is available year round. But if people were to do a head-to-head kind of comparison, I'm sure many would agree that it's far easier drinking, and that the alcohol is they're on par with alcohol, but for me it's just hidden just a little bit better in yours, and it just makes it a better, more rounded beer. So you guys release this about twice a year. This was a one-off brew that you guys nicely did for us, so we're quite appreciative of that. And like you say, often you guys now release it in the 500ml cans for our Advent packs for it to be able to fit in there. We made it the 330ml cans, which fit perfectly as the 2 stacked cans for day 24 and 25. And yeah, it is Christmas Eve, so it's the perfect pre-Christmas beer to have before the big day. Do you guys have this available all year round on tap, even though it's not packaged?
No, so it's just when we do it. So yeah, every sort of 4 to 5, 6 months sort of thing. And when we usually do it, we do quite a big sort of majority of it into cans, and then we just usually have 5 or 6 kegs, which so minimal kegs. A couple at the brewery, a couple at our bar in Geelong, and then if there's a lucky sort of shop or like bar in Melbourne or something or someone in Geelong that's keen for a keg, we usually just give them an exclusive kind of keg. So it is very it's not available everywhere, which is good.
So everyone's pretty lucky today to have it revealed. You just You just mentioned that you have a bar in Geelong. Tell us a little bit about that. So is that a Blackman's branded bar, or?
Yeah, so it's just called the Good Beer Bar by Blackman's. So we opened that 2.5 years ago. So it's just a really small little space, 12 taps. We do so six of our beers and 6 guests. So we just basically showcase the beers that we think are awesome in the industry at the moment. So we generally put our lineup on and then complement it with different styles that we aren't brewing at the time. And just that whole thing that we like, the whole reason Jess and I got into it was because we love beer. And it's just a really good way of doing that in Geelong. kind of showcasing other people's beers along with ours. And yeah, you just go in there and you can order Hot Chicken Project from another venue, and it's just a really casual little space, which is good.
Cool. And tell us a little bit about what the future for Blackman's kind of holds. What do you guys got planned over the next couple of years? What can people expect?
Well, going back to that brew, like in-house thing, which we've got a big focus on. We just literally right now, as we speak, there's some serving tanks being installed in the restaurant. So we just put 6 500-litre tanks in. So it's going to add to that freshness factor again at the brew pub. Just means that, the less you do to the beer, like rather than kegging or canning, if you just put it straight into a tank, it kind of keeps that really ultra fresh flavour thing happening, which is cool.
That'll be tank to glass at the brewery.
Yeah. So that's really exciting. And then what else have we done? We've got a few big 5,000 litre tanks going in just after New Year. So that'll just means we can service a few more customers, because at this point we're just pretty much strapped for beer. So as we make it, it's gone generally that week, which is great.
Yeah.
But we're just going to slowly kind of grow and get a bit more out there. So yeah, hopefully we can get a bit more to everyone else in other parts of Australia. And then I think early next year we'll have a bit of a sub-brand launching. It's called Blackman's Barrel Farm. So it's going to be really big focus on sours, farmhouse ales, beers like that, which will start at Torquay, but we have a site which is sort of, just an idea at this stage. It might, hopefully it'll happen soon, but we'll announce it when it does. But
cool.
Yeah, really amazing spot where we might be doing something with barrels and tanks and all that stuff. So
okay, but it'll start at the brewery. So in 2019, people are going to expect to see.
Yeah, so early next year we'll get our first sort of. We'll probably have a can release that we'll do year round as just like a really nice, easygoing sour, and then all the barrel beers will start coming out sort of middle of the year sort of thing. So. Fantastic. And then keep making beers we make. So lots of exciting stuff happening, which is good.
Fantastic. Well, Ren, I want to thank you for your time on the video and being willing to be broadcast into everyone's home. Wishing you and the family a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Yeah, you too.
Excited to see what you guys have got planned now that you've let it out of the bag, that you guys are doing some barrel aging and barrel kind of program type stuff. Looking forward to seeing what that is. So from Sydney to Torquay. Cheers. Merry Christmas.
Thanks very much. Yeah, cheers, guys. Merry Christmas. Thanks so much.
Not a problem. Thanks, Ren. Cheers.